Jesus, what is wrong with you?
Chris,
Take care of yourself.
What is going on, man?
Yes. Actually, let me call you guys back. I gotta get rid of this little thing I got with that here. I'll call you back. I'll call you guys back in a second.
Welcome back. It is the Vegas Take Sharp and Shapiro. I've been doing radio for 20 years. I don't think I can recall ever having a guest on our show that literally had a coughing attack that had to hang up the phone. But anyway, Chris is okay. He'll be just fine. He said post-nasal drip is the reason. Anyway, welcome back to the program.
Yeah, it sounded more like a pneumatic episode to me.
Welcome back to the program. It is Sharp and Shapiro. A lot to get to, a lot to go over in the sports world, and we have some breaking news. So what better person to talk about it than my guy, Mike Babcock from TMZ Sports, who joins us every Thursday. Mike, how's it going, my man?
What's up, Mikey?
What's up, guys? How are you? Crazy day, huh?
Oh, God. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on. It's been a crazy couple of days. You know, our Vegas Golden Knights fire their head coach. That was a shock. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world, not just the sports world. But let's start with the breaking news, Mike, that you guys are covering. That is Odell Beckham. He's accused of battery, and now a warrant has been issued over a locker room butt-slapping incident. Can you tell me exactly what took place here?
Yeah, Monday night after LSU won the championship, Odell Beckham was in the locker room celebrating with the LSU players, and there were some LSU players who were smoking cigars in the locker room, and state law, you can't smoke indoors. So there was a Mercedes-Benz security guard who was in the locker room, and we can argue if he was kind of, being, a little too strict here. These guys are trying to have fun. But nonetheless, the security guard was checking out one of the offensive linemen, the area around him, looking for the cigars. And as this guy was kind of conducting the investigation, Odell Beckham, on video, walks up behind this guy and slaps him on his butt relatively hard. The security guard turns around. They kind of have a little standoff. The security guard didn't appear to be pleased by what had taken place, and Odell kind of just stood there, looked at him, danced a little bit, and then backed away. And nothing more came of it that day. But now we learned that the security guard now, was not happy that this happened. Actually went to the New Orleans Police Department, and now there was a warrant out for simple battery for Odell Beckham's arrest.
Oh boy, this is not positive news for Odell Beckham. That is for sure.
This really sounds like, and Mike, I want to know if you agree with me or not. This sounds like a pretty big overreaction by the security guard to me. I mean, it's pretty commonplace to slap someone's butt in the sports world. I realized it was security guard, and he was like, "Hey, good job. Congrats on doing your job as far as trying to stop Joe Burrow and the LSU players that were celebrating winning a national championship." With cigars. I think it was probably, he was mocking him a little bit, but this simple battery thing seems like a pretty big overreaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is this is something that you can go to jail for. You can go to jail for 6 months, and I don't think anyone thinks that's ultimately what's going to happen to Odell here, but it could happen. I mean, he is facing jail time here. I think the biggest mistake here from Odell's standpoint was just reading the room wrong. Everybody else was having a good time, but the security guard wasn't partaking in that.
But this isn't it.
He was clearly there to do his job. And like again, I was saying, I personally think that he was probably being too hard, looking for the cigars. Just let the guys have fun. But he wasn't participating. Odell touched him, and I guess by the letter of the law, he did something wrong. Now, what's interesting is, originally they tried to get like a sexual battery or a sexual assault here because where he touched him on the butt.
Right.
That was rejected by a judge, and I think rightly so.
I agree.
And then the New Orleans police went back and they kind of redrafted this and asked for the simple battery, which they got. But
so what about this? What about this, though, Mike? I mean, also there's word that he was OBJ was giving cash to Joe Burrow and other athletes. LSU just responded, said they're aware of the incident. What can you tell us about this?
Right. So on the field, there a bunch of cameras all around, and Odell Beckham gave at least 2 LSU players. He pulled the money out of his pocket, put it in his hand, like gave them a handshake, and handed them the money. Now, clearly not something that can be done. You can't pay student athletes. Originally, LSU comes out and says that it was fake money. This thing's on camera. You can zoom in. Cameras are high quality these days. You look at the bills. They look very real. Why would Odell Beckham have fake money? That didn't make any sense. So now LSU has kind of reversed course, and they've said that it was real money and that they have self-reported to the NCAA and kind of explain what happened. But my issue with Odell is that Odell Beckham not on the LSU team. This is one of the greatest moments in the history of the school, maybe the greatest moment in these kids' lives. and it seemed that he was making it about him. He was on the field giving the money. He was going into the band trying to get them to play Neck, which is a song they're not allowed to play because it has some bad language. He was interrupting Coach Orgeron during his speech. It was a lot of Odell Beckham. When, in my opinion, get on the side, Odell, watch the game, be excited for your alma mater, but you don't need to inject yourself into every single thing that's happening that day. And
I tend to agree.
Trying to steal the spotlight, all Odell, all the time.
So speaking of all the time, Antonio Brown. There's another character and former NFL player who's been in a lot of trouble recently. Tell me a little bit about this story. Apparently, he threw a bag of penises at his baby mama in a police showdown. What is this? What is going on here?
It's craziness. So him and his baby mama, they have a couple kids together. They have been going back and forth for a while now. It always kind of unfolds publicly, either on Twitter. With the case here, he actually started like an Instagram live session, and thousands and thousands of people are watching this thing, and he is just berating a police officer, berating the mother of his kids while the kids are standing next to the mother. So in plain sight, the kids can kind of hear and see everything that's going on. But like you said, at one point he had a bag of like gummy penises. Don't know where you get those, but Antonio found them and he threw them at her.
So Mike, more Antonio Brown. Apparently he is training with an Olympic boxer in preparation for a boxing match with one of the most popular YouTubers of all time, Logan Paul. Is this going to happen, Mike?
It looks like it is. DAZN DAZN obviously puts on a whole bunch of fights. They just put on Logan Paul's last fight when he fought KSI, the other YouTuber. But this is serious. I know people at DAZN. They are in negotiations with both guys right now, and they have made a deal. So that's how serious it is, that they have actually put a monetary figure out there, and this is probably going to happen. The date that I'm told that they're looking at right now, sometime in April. And like you said, Antonio, he's training with a guy who fought in the Olympics, who was a pretty good fighter himself professionally. And it looks like this thing is going to happen. I'd actually be surprised at this point if it didn't happen. And, obviously I understand that with Antonio, he's very unpredictable. So who knows what happens.
That's an understatement.
If you ask me right now, I would say that this thing is going to happen.
So it's
by the way, Drew Rosenhaus has fired Antonio Brown also, so that's going on too.
Oh,
so
wow.
Just another day in Antonio Brown.
So it's further along than Tom Cruise and Justin Bieber. Where's that one at now?
Much, much further. I think that one there was some talk, and I think people were having some fun, and I think, Dana White wanted it to happen because obviously that'd be a big money fight for him.
Yes.
But I don't think that one didn't actually get off the ground. But this has gotten off the ground, and we're talking money and dates.
If you're just joining us, we're speaking with Mike Babcock from TMZ Sports. I'd be remiss not to bring up O.J. Simpson, who presides in Las Vegas. He lives here. And apparently there is a local casino in Las Vegas that O.J. sued. And now the casino is saying basically that he is a defamation-proof criminal scumbag. You guys are covering this on TMZ. Tell me a little bit about the story in the background.
I've never heard of this before. So you remember it was in November 2017, and there were all these stories that O.J. had gotten kicked out of the Cosmo because he was kind of acting like a drunken fool at one of their bars. And O.J. said that wasn't true. So O.J. is suing the Cosmopolitan for defamation, and the Cosmos kind of their answer to all this is O.J.'s reputation is so bad that he can't be defamed because his reputation is just so horrible that it's impossible to actually defame this guy. So that is what their argument is. I've never heard anything like it before in all the cases that we've covered a lot. Things similar to this. I've never heard an argument, made like this. But this is what the Cosmopolitan Hotel is going with. That O.J. is such a bad dude, such a bad reputation that he can't be defamed.
You know what? That is an interesting argument. I don't know if, in the words of the general public and their opinions, I kind of agree with them. O.J. Most people think O.J. and rightfully so is a double murderer. I don't think it gets much worse than that. I kind of think they're onto something. Okay. So last question for you, and then we got to let you go and let you get back to the good work you're doing over there at TMZ. This is weird. So explain to me how a guy who was in the G League a few years ago, who's averaging 5.7 points a game for the LA Lakers, 1 rebound and an assist, is getting, his name is Alex Caruso, is getting more votes for All-Star voting than guys like Steph Curry, Russell Westbrook, and Devin Booker and Donovan Mitchell. You're in LA. Explain to me how the hell this happens.
It's absolutely insane. The names on that list of the guys who are behind Alex Caruso, it's crazy. I think what happened was that there was like a group of people who thought it'd be funny to vote for Alex Caruso, and then when the NBA periodically sends the vote tallies out, and I think when Alex was on that list of guys who had gotten some votes, then there was like a groundswell of support for from people who thought it would be funny if this guy made the All-Star game. So now we have Alex Caruso, who is right there, possibly could make this team. Also have Taco Fall in Boston, who is another guy who seems like a really sweet guy, should not be playing in the All-Star game. Him too, crazy amount of votes. So you have these two guys who do not deserve, kind of from their play on the court to be part of the All-Star game. But both are getting a lot of votes. It's pretty crazy.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Not.
Listen, don't get me wrong. I watched Caruso in the summer league here. He obviously has worked hard on his game. He is a really good athlete, and I do believe he's an NBA player. Make no mistake. I don't think he's a starter, but I certainly think he's a guy that deserves to be on an NBA roster. But an NBA All-Star? I mean, are fans that stupid? I just don't understand.
Right. Yeah, I don't think anyone actually believes he should be an All-Star. It makes a mockery of the game, but, this is the internet. People think it's funny. Let's vote him into the All-Star game.
It definitely turns into a popularity contest.
If I was him, I wouldn't go. Let somebody who deserves it go.
It definitely turns into a popularity contest over merit. Let's talk really, really quick about baseball. So Beltran, Hinch, Alex Cora, they're all gone from this scandal. Are any other current managers at risk, you think, Mike?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't even think the Mets should have fired Beltran.
I agree
with you. I think at the end of the day, if players find it seems like they all use it. Baseball said 23 players did. That's essentially the whole team. Players were not in any position of power. The manager, the general manager, all they had to do, all they had to say was stop, and it would have stopped. So I don't blame the players. I don't think the players should be disciplined. And I think the Mets folded. There was a lot of pressure, especially in New York, once this came out, because a lot of these, when baseball guys can be a little bit holier than thou, and they really cherish the game. And I think it was an affront to those people, and then those people put a lot of pressure on the Mets, and I think the Mets caved into the pressure here. But I don't think the Mets had to fire Beltran. I think, that he would have been able to stay on as manager. I think this ultimately would have gone away by spring training. Cora and, the two managers, different story with Hinch and Cora. But I don't think Beltran had to be fired. But,
I'm on your side. Yep. I'm on your side. I completely agree with you there. Mike, always a great job. Always appreciate it when you come on. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic weekend, my friend, and we will catch up with you next week.
You too. Thanks, guys.
All right. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
there you
thanks
go.
a lot, Mikey.
Mike Babcock, very own TMZ Sports. He's turning into a superstar, by the way. He's on TV like left and right everywhere, so we always appreciate it. Mike Babcock, great friend of the show. Does a great job.
What? He looks the part. So I'm glad that he's doing that.
He does look like a movie star.
He does, absolutely.
He does has the lavish looks.
Striking good looks.
The lavish looks that my parents did not give me, unfortunately. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, a alleged Vegas pro sports gambler that I actually used to have a relationship with, his name is Vegas Dave. I will give the story of
what kind of relationship.
I will give the story of that and why a local law firm could be filing a large class action lawsuit against him for his sports handicapping practices. We'll explain that coming up next. You're listening to the Vegas Take right here on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDAWN.